everyone, this is John Ryan with Audit Archives. I'm coming to you here from Hobbs, New Mexico. It's a border town on the I-20, 3 miles from the Texas border. In this city of Hobbs, which has a very interesting history, there's this RV park here. As you can see, it's a self-serving pay station. Free Wi-Fi. This area is for camping only. And then you'll see that there is an iron, we call them Iron Rangers, there to pay, and there's $18 per night, $90 per week, with a limit of 14 days per 21-day cycle. So you stay for 14 days, and then you have to stay gone for a week, and you can come back. Now, that is an excellent resource, don't get me wrong. That is an excellent resource to the city, but there's allegations that there's deprivations of rights under the color of law being performed in order to maintain this profitable venture here in the McAdams Park. And as you can see, the RV has adobe structure by it, a beautiful disc golf park over here, football field, disc golf and walking trails here, actual golf course over here, 9-hole golf course, beautiful area. But this van is our van. So in our van, we collect data while we cross the country concerning political subdivisions and various other data that might be handy in data analytics work. Currently, there is a lot of controversy concerning the water contamination in Camp Lejeune, as well as the Aaron Brockovich cases of the chromium deposits on bases in California. So what we noticed also when we came to Parker's RV Park, I went venturing a little bit, and the van was in the city of Hobbs at an old Kmart parking lot, and that wasn't very good for the van to be sitting there where it could be vandalized, looted, and things like that. We had done the investigative research that we needed from the city at the time, and we didn't need any more research there. So we were told by a police officer there was an RV park ran by the city here. McAdams Park was state land that, and the state of New Mexico does not allow for recreational camping on state lands. So apparently now it's city land, and we're waiting on more information on that that we'll get back with you. But this land here became the subject of much controversy. So let's take a look at this land here. What we're talking about here, pardon me if the wind is blowing, this is the site of the Hobbs Army Base, B-17 training base, 1942 to 1946. This land, 2,480 acres, was taken from the Nat Huston and his children. The land was theirs. They're from the original Homestead family. He was a son-in-law of the Graham family and inherited the land. The land was open. This gate right here was open when we got here, and I explored back here where there's a large concrete airstrip there. It's not been used in a long time, and we parked the van back there to collect some water samples, some soil samples, find out about contamination and the agricultural issues going on from the time that it was open as a base. And why that became important is because there's also an RV park here. Now I'm gonna walk you, I'll show you why I have to walk you from outside now, because at this point in time, as you can see, the lock has been locked. The lock has been locked by Matt Hughes and Marcus Juarez of the Parks and Open Spaces division. This is public property. They are depriving access of it to the American people. As you can see here, as I walk down this road, and I'll show you from the exterior until we finish the politicking that it takes to access public land to give to the American people. And I was told very clearly I can walk through here as a pedestrian by the EDC, not to breach the fence line. So I will not breach the fence. I'm just walking over this rope that happens to be separating the road from what was an RV park, campground. Let me take a look at this RV park with you. So here we have what an RV lot. It's paved. It's got nice trees, nice entrance here. Okay, it has, if we walk over here, we're going to walk over here to the roadway. Very nice setting over here, it really is. I can see why it's popular. And I want to show this sign right here so you can get a better idea why we're investigating this. It says campers must register and pay at McAdams Park self-pay station. Well, this RV park has been in operation for quite some time, and it has full hookups. Matter of fact, there's a propane line right there. And if you walk down this road, I will show you. The water comes here, the electricity, and the septic. So we decided it was a great place to take some soil samples, air samples, water runoff samples, things like that. These are camp spots here. But if you'll notice that right here, there is what appears to be septic, and then you have electric lines running up through here. So each one of these spots were for full hookups. You have septic and electric. I don't know if there's water yet. I haven't seen where those resources would come from. But the story of this RV park is it was shut down due to lobbyism for long-term RV dwellers, enforcing them into private RV parks. Specifically because RV parks did not want to compete against public resources is the way they described it. Now we know that public resources don't compete against private business. That's not even possible. But that was the reasoning given to shut down this park. And so when you walk back on this park, let me show you the type of area we have here. And this area was locked off, gated off by, again, Parks and Recreation, but that's not approved by the Economic Development Committee. It doesn't seem that the city manager secretary understands why that would happen, nor does it seem that the GIS mapping doesn't show anything about private property. This is public property. The city attorney is trying to find out what I want to be able to do. Basically, he wants to discriminate in my favor to get me to stop making a scene, I guess he's describing it, or let it go. But you know, I think the American people have let go of enough land, haven't they? Haven't they given enough up to political subdivisions to run us off of? Why should we let it go? So here, this is the airstrip. Very large swath of paved area, and is used for parking sometimes for major events. And out there is another airstrip, which is used for the event. They'll have events out here. So during the weekend and the whole time we've been here, there have been traffic coming up through here. I guess there's another exit down there, and this way. And the traffic uses this area. It uses this area for recreation. It uses this area for access. There are 3 porta potties here. There is a male and 2 female. And the van was parked right here. So right here, on the other side of this tree right here, that porta potties are there. Van's right here, tucked along this fence line right here, was that van I just showed you. And we were collecting samples, and the reason we were collecting samples from here is because it's where the toilets are. So we're collecting samples from back in here, where the root system of this tree collects it from the soil. And we were collecting samples of the cactus, and basically checking to see about contamination that may have been affecting residents in the area. We were told that the RV park was shut down over political reasons. That doesn't make sense. so we've done more investigation. During the course of this investigation, we have had to deal with police and angry locals and even angrier Matt Hughes and Marcus Juarez from the Parks and Open Spaces division. But it's not our job to run away from intimidation when we are trying to report on the American lands. These are our lands, people. This is your land. This right here, that's your land. This I'm standing on, this is your land. It doesn't belong to the city of Hobbs. There is no such thing as a city of Hobbs. That's a political entity. That's an articles of incorporation. This is the people's land, public lands, that we can come and ingress and egress as we see fit, as long as there's no ordinances or laws preventing us from doing what we're doing. And that is the entire problem with assumed authority and the whole premise of the project. There were people staying here long term, and they were ran off of this land. And some of them had to leave town. Their wagons and their covered wagons were not seen fit by the current government. Let's talk about that government a little bit. So the commissioner for this area, District 5, is Roy Dwayne Pinnick, P-E-N-I-C-K. Roy has an issue with the law. I mean, that's the best way to put it. Roy was recently convicted of assaulting several people, one of them being a gentleman by the name of, make sure I say his name right, I can't. I'll pull it up. But he was just assaulted people, and he was convicted. He was convicted of that crime. He was given a deferred sentence with a year probation, and had to take an anger management class and pay a $15 fee for something or another. Very light sentence, and he's still the commissioner here. Well, let's talk about Roy. What background does he have? Well, in the 90s, Roy had a construction company, so he made his money from building homes. And then Roy invested in the homes and became a property management company, Pinnick Properties LLC. He recently added his wife Joanne to the originators, the organizers of the business, but he has a private equity stake in boxes, stationary boxes. He is a developer, a land developer, and property owners that leases it out to renters. So the commissioner here has a direct stake in shutting down this property, and increases the number of potential renters within the Hobbs area, which he directly benefits from them renting his properties. So it does appear, in so far in this investigation, that there is political corruption stemming from possibly the commissioner Roy Dwayne Pinnick, but definitely from the Mr. Marcus Juarez, Mr. Matt Hughes from the Parks and Open Spaces Committee, and maybe even being directed by Mr. Pinnick, because politicians like to do that. They like to have someone else do their dirty work. But there's deprivation of rights in the color of law, and the American people have been damaged by that in a significant amount. So now I hadn't seen any activity back here by the workers until our investigation had commenced, and since then they have been moving pallets and pallets and pallets of things out of this area. I'll show you here. Hanger right there. They've been moving these pallets out of something ever since this investigation started to point their direction. And they locked the gate over here, and they've been loading and unloading these pallets. So I'd love to know what's on the pallet. Would it point to some chemicals that they might have runoff from? What exactly is going on with the pallet? I'm not really sure. I feel like it's a really good question. But we'll watch it drive by, and I'll show you what they have here, so that way we have that documented for later. There was, I mean, they've been moving them quite a bunch. So those are the bags, pallets that they've been moving over here, and I don't know where they're taking them to. It might be something completely innocent. I have no idea. All I can say is that the activity was sped up quite a bit once the investigation into the operations began, and with all the other unprofessional work that's been done by these city employees, I would even say incompetent, it leads me to believe that there's more nefarious activities. Why are they pulling that stuff out of that hangar? That hangar is leased. It's leased to private individuals. So why would be city employees be dragging stuff out of the hangar? It's very interesting. So yeah, we will continue to investigate this further as the days continue, but there is definitely corruption going on here in Hobbs that involves some of the highest levels of officials in the area. This is John Ryan on archives.com, Assumed Authority Project, the Homeless Access Project, and we are here again at the Harry McAdams Park in Hobbs, New Mexico.